Test. 1, 2, test. All right. Yes, I have a big, large audience. Yay. We're dialed in. Okay. So, wow, that's like really bright. I'm going to do a live audio recording. Live audio recording just to start it off. That's what I'm going to do. Because it's always good to have a video recording backup or something like that. Well, there we go. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's amazing what it goes into on making audio podcasting with no video. And then you start doing video like this over here. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it makes a difference for those watching or learning or wanting to know how to do it. What do I want to do? I want to do something. Oh, here we go. Duh. I'm getting it. Putting it in. All right. So again, this is my start. So here we go. This is the start of the beginning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time of dimension that you are in. This is your host, Chris. Welcome to Interstellar Frequency. Oh, yes, you guys are back with me. For those of you that religiously listen. I don't know who listens or anything like that, but I get the majority. Wow, the voice is all messed up here. I get the majority thinking, or I think the majority of you are listening on the other side of the world. Why do I have a horrible voice right now? That's so bizarre. Anyways, yeah, you know, this hurricane, man, that was I hate to say it, but it was almost a disappointment for what my expectations were. I was expecting serious thunder, serious craziness, serious flash of lightning, thunder and crackle and loss of power. And I was hoping for it, right? At least I was hoping for it because of the kids. I wanted the kids to experience what I used to go through back when I was a kid. And it's like, no, just rain, just rainfall. That was it. It's like, man, that's not fair. It's sad. I mean, no, it's not sad. It's great. We need the rain. We really do. Here in California, we really need the rain. It always need the rain. You can never turn away the rain in Southern California because we never get enough. Never. They're always complaining about how we're running out of water. With as much rain that we've gotten this year and how much we've overflowed the aquifer and everything, especially where I live, man. I love it where I live. We don't have the problem with a loss of water, of, I don't know. It's a different geological, what's the word? Geological area, right? So we don't use the water from the Colorado River in the area that I live. We have our own aquifer that's deep underground. It's nice. Anyways, so we don't have to worry about that water stuff. I mean, we do, but not as bad. Now, man, back when I was a kid, we'd have like thunderstorms come through and like massive thunderstorms back in the like late 80s, early 90s. It was the most craziest thing. You'd be outside, right? And then your mom would come out and be like, hey, you boys might want to come in right now. I mean, I don't care if you guys want to stay out and play in the rain. That's fine with me. But you boys might want to come in because you don't want to get struck by lightning. And it's like, what? Yeah, you don't want to get struck by lightning, so you boys might want to come in. And when that happens, right, and she says that to me and my buddy, we were out there playing in the backyard and stuff. We're crawling all over the iron pile and everything that my dad had back there. It was like a freaking jungle gym of construction work stuff. It was awesome. Like, it was like a land of, I don't know, other people would call it like junkyard stuff. I called it like, I don't know, a land of opportunity. To get hurt in many ways that if you weren't paying attention, you can get really hurt. And so it's like, you got to be smart on how you're going to play out there and crawl around the rebar. I don't know how many times I got in tetanus shots because of rusted rebar and iron and stuff because I sliced my skin open on doing something stupid. I learned though, right? Anyhow, I remember when she came out and told us this, she's like, hey, you better come in. And we're like, no. And all of a sudden, just all of a sudden at that moment in time, crack. Right? This hardcore crack hit the sky. I swear to God, my buddy and I jumped about 3 feet off the ground, man, and we hauled ass underneath the patio. I'm like, ah! Lightning and everything is happening. Thunder cracking in the backyard. Oh my God. That was great. That was great. Scary as hell. And so, back then I was like scared of thunder. Really, really afraid of thunder. And then, like, more and more as I got older, I really loved the sound of thunder and the cracking and the combustion of the two happening, ripping across the sky. I don't know. I've never experienced anything louder and more powerful than that, you know? And I was sitting there hoping, my hopes were so high on this like crazy crack of thunder and lightning and everything like that, that we were going to get this massive weather system come through of Hurricane Hillary. Really, it was our name. And that didn't happen. And none of it happened. It was like it came by and just it fizzled out, which it usually always does. You know, whatever's happening down in the Inland Empire and the LA area basin and all that surrounding area down there in the ocean, we have this barrier where I live where the mountains are, and we get this massive weather system. Usually every day. Usually it's every day. We get the Santa Ana winds usually, and the Sierra winds and everything, and it rips across the desert, and it blows out all the smog and stuff, and we don't really have too much of a bad air quality. We actually have a pretty good air quality, except for certain times the air messes with you, and then it gets really dusty. Then it's bad air quality because it messes up and blows up the dust and everything. Anyhow, so this storm comes through, and it's like, the kids, we go through it, right? We get sandbags and everything because they're talking like some massive flooding, and which it was. Don't get me wrong, there was flooding all over the desert where I live, and it's the areas that always flood. This is not uncommon. This is areas that always flood in the desert. When it does rain and it does get kind of a lot of water, they always flood. So it's nothing really new at all. And this particular time, yes, on one of the main streets, we did get a lot more water than normal, And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's just like everybody was all hyped up and grabbed some sandbags and stuff like that. And I feel bad for a lot of people out there, right? The ones that did have problems with the water and stuff. And I'll explain. It's like intermission. Sorry, I have to vape. I like vaping. Sorry. I can't do this without vaping. This is the YouTube video of everybody looking at me going, oh my God. He's vaping again. Isn't that illegal in California? Yes, it's illegal. No, it's not illegal. Well, no. See, California laws there. See, California. This is what's weird about California laws, right? Okay, so you can own it. You just can't use it. Or at least that's California laws, it seems like. You can own anything in California. You just can't use it. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense if you ask me. So you can own your vape shit and do your vaping. You just can't buy it. But you can own it. You just can't buy it. And you can use it. You just can't buy it. I don't know, man. As far as I know, we're the only state that got rid of menthol and flavored tobacco. Like, really? See, now I'm getting off on a tangent and I forgot what the hell I was going to say. Oh, I remember. I go back to it. I know. I do it. It is, what was it about? It was about, the sandbags. Yes, that's right. See, this is what happens when you go behind the scenes and stuff, when you're trying to actually do a podcast and try to do a recording and make it all polished up and pretty. You have to sit here and do this. It takes a minute and time to do. Okay. So, I feel bad for the people that did the sandbag stuff, and there is a flooding and everything like that, and so people did get serious flooding, right? And yet, I went and got some sandbags myself and kind of, prepared for this crazy water, dump that we were going to get. Instead, it actually mostly filled up my pool than it did actually dump
water where it was going to flood my back patio, which I thought it was going to flood my back patio and water was going to come inside the house. That's not what happened. The ground was sucking up the water as fast as it was coming down. So it was like, it just sucked right down into the earth, man. It was just, loving on it. And the trees are loving on it, and rose bushes and everything I have in the backyard is just loving the water. It's like, oh my God, yay, water. And where I live, and most of the majority of us that live here in this wonderful desert of ours, and others would say different things about the wonderful Mojave Desert. They would probably disagree with me on it. On the other hand, I do love this landscape. I always have and I always will. I will always, always, for the rest of my days, always love the desert. I can never say it enough. I grew up in the desert. I played in the desert. I rode in the desert with my off-road toys. I love the desert. Now, the way this works where we are here, for some apparent reason, water flows north from this desert. It's the most bizarrest thing. We have a river, actually, that's called the Mojave River. And the Mojave River literally is an underground river that flows all year round underground. And it flows north. It's really unique how that works. But it does. It always flows north. And for this desert to be underwater, it would be catastrophic. And I mean catastrophic as that means that, like, half of the desert that travels to get to Las Vegas and half the desert on the I-40 that goes out to Needles would be all underwater about, 150 feet underwater before this desert where I live starts actually having beachfront property of water and overflowing. Our water will continue to run for quite some time. We would never flood here. Don't get me wrong. Let me retract that because a lot of people go, no, that's not true. Well, yes, it is true. We do have flooding, yeah? And that are the paths of the water going across the roadways. So it is flooding over directions of the canals where the water is. Here's the most stupidest point is, stupid. With the technology that we have and the amount of capability that we have, not one single road that we have in this location should actually be flooded. Because if we actually put in the box culverts and, the hardcore construction of, the water passages, we would never flood. Never. None of the roadways would ever flood if they had done the roadways the way they should be. Instead, they just slap asphalt down and say, here you go. And then they have the little dips and stuff of where the water runs across the road. So when we have a 100-year flood like this, when the water runs, stuff happens because we never actually did build the infrastructure for the 100-year flood or anything like that. Thank God it's not a 1,000-year flood or a millennium flood or whatever, the Noah Ark flood. But, yeah, no, it does flood here. It's not that bad, but it like so many people, they always think about. Okay, here, let me retract. The thing is, nobody really thinks about the idea that this planet is the host and we're just its guests, right? We're the guest on the host of the planet. The host is the planet, we're the guests, and yet water and everything else that is here kind of is a little bit more important than the human beings. Oh man, that I could see that causing a lot of problems by me saying that. Now let me just dive a little bit deeper here. So we're a guest on the planet, and water happens with the storm system, And it is an inconvenience for a lot of people, and they get upset about the inconvenience and they start to cuss out the weather system. Unannounced and unreality of realizing that when we had the fires that happened and the damages that happened from the fire, and we have this massive displacement of sediment and water being flown from, flowing from one location to another, this is a good thing because then it's going to create more life for the new plants in the area, which the vegetation will help, secure the land a little bit more, no mudslides and stuff. Water brings life. We need water. It's important. And it does help us out. And I just hope a lot of others out there were not too terribly inconvenienced, too terribly bad from it. But at the same time, it was all over the news, prepare this and prepare that and get ready for this and get ready for that. You can never not be prepared enough. And if you are prepared and nothing happens, oh well, at least you were prepared and you're set up and ready to go. You had a strategic plan in place, and then it was just a fizzled out storm. Oh man, I was so looking forward to it being a nice thunderstorm and the kids experiencing no power and no technology, and it was just like, man, that would have been the coolest thing to have them experience what it was like when I was a kid. Because back in the day, power went out. We didn't have Southern California Edison up here in the high desert. We had Edison down the hill. So they had to literally drive from down the hill up to the high desert to turn the power back on. And that stuff took hours and hours and hours for them to get up here. So if the power went out, we were out of power for, not just 30 minutes or 15 minutes. We were out of power for hours, if not, 10 hours later. You go to bed at night and the whole entire house is shut off and nobody's got electricity. And God, what an experience that was, how quiet that was, and how beautiful that was when there was no electricity. You could see the stars at night. You could see the clouds when that happened, especially when the break in the clouds happened and stuff like that. You could see the starlight and everything with no power of the city. It was beautiful, very beautiful. Nowadays, technology is a little bit more advanced. The power goes out and you're off. You're on for what? A minute, 2, 3 minutes, something like that. Then you're back on. Oh my God. What a long way we've came. Long way we've came. Intermission. I cannot believe I'm doing this live. This is crazy. I'm recording this live. For whatever reason, I'm not quite sure. There's another set of a audio recording, then to go back and do more audio, what's it called? Voice enhancement. To make it pop with the music and make it more like a theater experience. Yes, I'm a dork. Welcome to my world. I'm a dork. The reason why I know I'm a dork, because I'm told that many times over. You're a dork. Yes, I know. Thank you. All right, there it is. I want this. Oh, yeah. That's brisk, baby. All right, here we go. So, all in all, I'm just wishing in a way that these little kiddos got to experience something. Then again, every time I'm starting to realize that I'm hoping that they would get to experience some bit of what I got to experience when I was a kid, to see the coolness of this and that and the other thing. It would be neat. But at the same time, like, I'm realizing that they don't really need to experience it. I don't know. They probably don't. And like I told them, I said, okay, we got to get the candles. Let's put the candles out, put them by the stove. Let's put that over there. Put the fire extinguisher over there. Da, 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 da. So, kind of prepping everything up for absolutely nothing in a way, because nothing was really going to happen because of our mountainous terrain and how things work around here. The weather fizzles out up in the desert versus everywhere else. Anyhow, so they're all excited. They go and grab all the candles and everything. And they're like, we see them. They put the candles up, and then they grab later on, because the power didn't go out. They went and grabbed a couple of candles, and the little electric ones with the batteries in it, and they put the candles up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're putting the candles up. Why? So that way, when the power goes out, we have light. I go, yeah, but the power hasn't gone out. Well, how do we know the power's out? I go, because there'll be no electricity in the house. And they're like, really? I go, yeah, no electricity. I'm like, oh, okay. They don't really understand it. So I'm thinking now I'm going to be kind of deviant in a way, and I'm going to go one time or the other. I'm going to surprise everybody, and that way nobody knows I'm going to do it. I'm going to go outside, flip the main breaker, and shut off the power to the whole entire house. So that way they don't know. And then they'll be like, ah! Freaking out or something. And that way it's like, all right, what do we do? They'll be freaking, but they'll probably know that I'm the one that turned off the power. But then again, at the same time, if I turn the power off, I'm afraid that if I turn the power off, I won't get it back on. So why would I want to do that? I mean, that's kind of bad to think that way, but at the same time, it's like, it ain't broke. Leave it alone. Don't mess with it. I don't want to be the cause of it not to come back on and then have to call Edison and go, hey, there's something wrong with my power. I can't have it on. And then they have to send a technician out and go, oh, your breaker's broken. I'm sorry, you have to fix that. I don't know. I doubt that would happen, but you never know. I don't think I want to chance it. We'll see. Maybe try it one of these days. But other than that, man, it was a nice storm system. A lot of rain, very much humidity. Very beautiful. No problems. It was really nice. Dog loved it. Yeah, it was cool. It was very, very cool. I enjoyed it. And so, I don't know. Moral of the story is don't get your hopes up too high when you think something and then it really doesn't happen. But then again, I guess it's not a bad thing, because it could have been way worse. They were talking about crazy wind. We still might get those crazy winds. I don't think so, though. But we'll see. It's still early in the night. You never know what's going to happen until after it happens, or something like that. So there you go. I guess it's a little bitty episode for this week. Until next time. Yeah, that's just a small little, small little Briquito episode. Nothing too terribly big. And I'm trying to think. I'll probably come back and do some kind of like, audio editing stuff with voices and do that live or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see. Have to try to see how that works out and see if I'm gonna do that. I notice I'm getting more plays when I actually do these videos. I get more plays on this thing of YouTube, and then I go back and do the episode, and then people go back and listen to the episode after watching the stream, I guess, or something. They see how it's done, and they go back and listen to it. I don't know. Bizarre how this works. So, we'll see. And I guess I'll talk to you guys later. And you have a wonderful night. Thank you much for coming in here and checking it out.